Now on CoastTV News.
Belmead battle, the latest step in the rezoning request and the debate between more development and housing options in Lewis.
Delaware defends pets, how one of the newest laws in the state attempts to protect pets from abuse.
Let's go Tuesday morning. Delmarva tracking showers and heavy rain throughout the day today, as well as high winds. I'll let you know when you can expect the worst impacts coming up.
Harper's got it. He'll take it to the bag. And for the second consecutive season, the Philadelphia Phillies are the National League East champions.
Beast of the East, as Philadelphia is now ready for an October to remember.
This is CoastTV News Today.
Continue with our 6 o'clock hour. Good morning, I'm Matt Pensick.
And good morning, I'm Elisa Weber. Thank you for joining us. It is Tuesday, September 16th, 2025.
And one of my favorite conversations you always give us during the break is your...
Talk about Rutgers?
That, but I was more interested in your exchanges with your buddies, the deer on the road.
I know.
Driving in.
Yesterday I reported that I didn't see any deer. I was happy about that because it was foggy outside.
Yeah.
Don't need that added challenge. This morning I saw 3 of them. So I think they were watching CoastTV yesterday.
Well, that's good to know.
And they were like, oh my gosh, Lisa was disappointed. We didn't say hi to her on our way to work. But yes, Chris, as I saw the deer, there were also some sprinkles outside with rain. That is our top story this morning, our forecast.
Good morning, guys. A pleasant good morning to you, Delmarva. Yes, we've had some showers push in through the overnight. Not all that heavy as we take a live look into Lewis there. We've seen a few sprinkles there, 70 degrees, dew point 65, so it's quite tropical damp out there. You could see some light showers beginning to push in off the Atlantic through much of Sussex County. A moderate pocket of rain there pushing into Chincoteague, Assateague Island. You see this heavier batch of shower activity beginning to push onshore here over the next few minutes as that pushes to the west. But our area of low pressure really beginning to wind up here off the coast of the Carolinas and the Outer Banks. You can see these heavier bands just to the north pushing into the southern portion of Delmarva. Wind gusts already gusting upwards of 31 Indian River Inlet to 32 in Ocean City. We're going to hold pretty steady here with temperatures through the morning. 67 Georgetown, 70 Rehoboth to 69 in Dagsboro. So this coastal low is really going to begin to bring periods of rain throughout the day. Even a few isolated thunderstorms by the afternoon, early evening hours. Winds, gusts upwards of 45, 50 miles an hour late this morning through the day today. High surf, not going to be really good of a beach day, but we may see beach erosion with wave heights 5 to 10 feet. The good news is we end the week on a high note with plenty of sunshine. So temperatures rising not all that much through the day today, holding in the upper 60s with that isolated storm chance through the afternoon as those winds really begin to pick up. We'll track the winds and the brighter, sunnier times ahead coming up in that full 7-day forecast. Matt.
All right, thank you, Chris. And our top story this hour is the latest in the attempt at getting a housing development in the Lewis area. It's turning the Belmead Horse Farm from agricultural residential to a C4 planned commercial district.
Debate on the Belmead development for apartments and retail has continued for months, with some delays after planning and zoning decided they wanted to hear from the Cape Henlopen School District, which is 2 schools less than half a mile away from the farm.
And Sussex County Council has a public hearing on Belmead at 1:30 p.m.
And part of that debate is the need near Sussex County for affordable housing. BB Healthcare says the county's rapid population growth is making it difficult to keep up. CEO David Dr. Tam says due to the area's growth in just 5 years, they are projecting 3,000 more hospitalizations per year for the 65 and up population. Dr. Tam says right now Sussex County has the worst ratio in Delaware on how many patients one clinician cares for. Tam says in just 10 years, the senior population will need 36% more trauma services and 30% more rehab services.
The worst case scenario is that we will continue to have a situation where we will not have enough healthcare services for the people who need it.
And Dr. Tam says he wants to work with the county to bring more affordable housing.
Happening today, Delaware Governor Matt Meyer is set to sign a bill creating a brand new specialty license plate to mark Delaware's 250th anniversary of Separation Day and the nation's 250th birthday. The bill amends Title 21 of Delaware law to allow a commemorative background license plate. The plates will carry the same numbers and letters as the driver's current tag, but with a new design showcasing the milestone. The measure needed a supermajority in the General Assembly because it involves a new license fee.
And also happening today, Delaware is taking a new step to protect animals. Governor Matt Meyer will participate in a ceremonial signing of Senate Bill 174, creating an animal abuse offender list. The legislation was officially signed back in August of this year. According to the State Office of Animal Welfare, must keep a public list of adults convicted of animal abuse. Shelters will be prohibited from allowing anyone on that list to adopt pets. That ceremony will take place at the BVSPCA Copeland Center for Animal Welfare in Newcastle at 1 o'clock.
This morning, 2 former members of the Bethany Beach Police Department are going to serve time in jail. And here is why as we break this down. Former Police Chief Michael Redmond and former Captain Darren Cathell are guilty of stealing nearly $300,000 in overtime funds over 6 years. Redmond received 13 months in federal prison and must pay $81,000 in restitution and a $50,000 fine. Cathell was sentenced to 2 months in prison, 6 months of home confinement, and ordered to pay $67,000 in restitution and a $25,000 fine.
New this morning, Worcester County Sheriff's Office is warning people about a scam. The agency says scammers are impersonating police and using real names to contact locals about false jury duty. And the scammers claim victims owe a fine for a missed date and threaten to take legal action if not paid. The Sheriff's Office is reminding people it will never call to request payment for missed jury duty.
Wow. Well, you just heard it. A semi-truck crashed into a light rail train in Phoenix Sunday night. According to this security footage, the train went right through the semi-truck, which was trying to cross over the tracks, and you can see the train came to a complete stop as flames burst out. Police say no one on the train was injured in the crash. The driver of the truck taken to the hospital, but also avoided life-threatening injuries.
Happening now, Seaford is conducting its annual hydrant flushing. According to the city's Facebook page, crews are working Mondays through Fridays from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. The project takes place from the west side of the city and will move east over the next 4 to 6 weeks. The city encourages people to check their water quality before washing clothes and running the dishwasher.
Took 10 innings in Los Angeles. The Phillies beat the Dodgers and in so doing win the National League East for the second straight season. It's the earliest division clinch in franchise history. And we'll have more on this game later on CoastTV News Today.
Drivers in Sussex County should prepare for a detour starting later this month. DelDOT says North Old State Road will close between Beach Highway and Fleetown Road beginning Monday, September 29th through Friday, October 10th, weather permitting. Crews will be replacing a crossroad pipe and installing 2 new stormwater pipes.
Got a reminder for anyone heading to Tidal Health in Salisbury this week. You should expect some temporary changes at one of its parking lots. Tidal Health says now through Thursday, the sidewalk along South Division Street is closing for repairs. Crews are working to create a safer walking path. Also, the hospital says a row of gravel lot parking spots along South Division Street, it's not an option because of potential debris from the work. It's all part of the hospital's ongoing expansion project. New overnight, and today we are expecting charges to be filed by the Utah County Attorney Jeff Gray against Tyler Robinson. That's the man arrested in the connection with the assassination of Charlie Kirk.
As the charges are filed, memorials across the country continue, and NBC's Bofta Yiman shows us the fallout as the investigation into Kirk's deadly shooting continues.
22-year-old Tyler Robinson is expected to face several charges, including aggravated murder in connection with the attack on conservative influencer Charlie Kirk. According to the Washington Post, Robinson appears to have confessed in an online chat not long before turning himself in, writing, "Hey guys, I have bad news for you all. It was me at UVU yesterday. I'm sorry for all of this." The Post citing 2 people familiar with the chat and screenshots. Another possible sign that may be part of the evidence, a text message exchange, says FBI Director Kash Patel.
He had a text message exchange, he the suspect, with another individual, in which he claimed that he had an opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk and he was going to do it because of his hatred for what Charlie stood for.
The FBI says the suspect is not cooperating, but points out they found the suspect's DNA on 2 pieces of evidence. While authorities haven't confirmed a motive, the president blames the left.
Looks like he was radicalized over the internet, and it's radicalized on the left. He's a left.
The Trump administration's effort to find and punish Americans who criticize Charlie Kirk intensifying, including measures to use the federal government to crack down on what the administration called vast domestic terrorist networks.
We are going to use every resource we have at the Department of Justice, Homeland Security, and throughout this government to identify, disrupt, dismantle, and destroy these networks.
Back in Utah, classes resume on campus as the suspect remains on special watch status, meaning closer supervision. In Washington, Bofta Imam, NBC News.
And we're just getting started in this hour of Coast TV News today.
Yeah, coming up, Coast parking costs. We have the updates to the paid parking season now that many communities are fee-free.
Also, final fence decision after petitions and requests. One Lewis Commission is weighing in on a possible addition to Canal Front Park.
And strolling in style. This luxury stroller comes with a big price tag. What makes it so expensive? All that and more as Coast TV News Today continues.
Good morning, Delmarva. Waking up to some soggy conditions out there. Well, don't worry, we'll get through it. We're live looking to Laurel, 65 degrees, some low clouds there. Light to moderate rainfall over the area at the moment, but we are going to see some periods of some heavier rain throughout the afternoon. So this coastal low is really going to bring some dreary conditions over the next few days. Rain, wind, high surf, but sunshine to round out the week. There you see those showers beginning to pivot into the area. We've had some light to moderate rainfall down through Chicotee. We can see this heavier area just off the Delaware coast, but the main action is across the Carolinas and Virginia, where that area of low pressure is really winding up at this hour. Gusts right now 34 Indian River Inlet to 32 Ocean City. We're going to see winds gusting as high as 45-50 late this morning through the afternoon. Temperatures holding pretty steady, upper 60s to right around 70 with an isolated storm possible later this afternoon. You can get your latest forecast as always by dialing the First Alert Weather phone. We'll track the rain on Futurecast and have a look at those 80-degree temperatures returning in that 7-day forecast coming up a little bit later on. Elisa.
Thank you, Chris. We have an update to a story we brought to you on Monday. A waterline replacement in Salisbury is being rescheduled. The work was supposed to begin today. However, according to the city's Facebook page, it will now take place on Tuesday, September 23rd. The city says the Department of Waterworks will complete it on Riverside Drive. That street will be closed to drivers between Woodland Road and Douglas Road. The city says the closure begins at 9 a.m. and is expected to finish around 3:30.
A heads up for drivers in Easton. This week there is a traffic situation to tell you about. A number of road closures are scheduled for the East Avenue storm drain improvement. And on your screen right now is a map of where this is taking place. It's from September 17th to the 23rd, and we expect to see the installation of over 2,100 feet of storm drain pipes.
British luxury automaker Aston Martin has collaborated with child car seat brand Egg to create a high-end baby stroller. The Aston Martin edition of the Egg 3 is modeled to resemble the seats of an Aston Martin car. They will be available for purchase at a starting price tag of about $3,000. No word yet when U.S. consumers can order.
Southwest Airlines following the Federal Aviation Administration's warnings about the dangers of lithium-powered batteries with a new policy. Starting September 25th, Southwest passengers will have to remove the batteries from mobility devices due to fire hazards. Air travelers will have to carry them into the cabin before their wheelchair is checked.
Well, don't forget the umbrella. Stepping outside the door this morning, on and off showers, isolated thunderstorms through the afternoon, and then you're going to need that windbreaker because, yes, we're going to see some winds as high as 50 miles an hour. We'll track the winds, and when all this mess will be out of here, coming up in the full 7-day forecast right after the break.
Time is 6:17, and you are looking live at the bright lights along the canal in Lewis. And Chris, I was looking at you just a moment ago. You're busier more than the norm today tracking those conditions that have us under a yellow alert day.
Yeah, we have that yellow alert in play for this afternoon and evening. We're going to see winds as high as 50 miles an hour at the coast and some pockets of heavier rain. Right now, we're dealing with some light moderate rainfall filtering in over the area. And remember, you could scan that QR code at the bottom of your screen, download the Coast TV weather app, get the latest any watches, advisories, warnings are issued specifically for your exact location. See some moderate rainfall just off the Delaware coast, and this is going to continue to push to the west. You can see some heavier bands off to the southern portion of the peninsula as this area of low pressure really beginning to wind up here just off the outer banks, and that's going to eventually lift to the northwest throughout the day today. Temperatures holding right around 70 for the coastal Delaware, 67 Georgetown, 65 in Laurel to 65 in Salisbury. The further you get away from the coast, wind not much of an issue, but as you can see here along the coast, we're seeing sustained winds 21 in Rehoboth to 30 in Indian River Inlet. Gusting 25 Rehoboth, 34 Indian River Inlet to 32 in Ocean City out of the northeast. So because of that, because of the high wind as well as the high surf, coastal flood advisories are in effect. These kick in this afternoon through about 9 o'clock tonight, and I have a feeling they're going to kind of linger through the next few days. Worcester County as well could see up to a foot and a half of inundation through the high tide cycle. Gale warnings up for the entire Delmarva coastline for winds as high as 45 miles an hour. Wind advisory up for portions of Accomack County. Storm Prediction Center has a marginal risk down through Accomack, southern portions of the peninsula. Could see a brief spin up, isolated gusts. Severe gusts there possible through the morning time frame. The threat is low, but it's there. Now we'll continue to see the rain threat at least through early Thursday morning, and then skies will begin to clear. Showers on and off through the morning and afternoon, and that rumble of thunder possible as we get into the latter part of the day. So Futurecast shows the showers continuing to pivot in off the Atlantic throughout the afternoon. Again, a brief rumble of thunder, brief downpour possible late this afternoon through the early evening hours, but a damp evening, a damp night as the showers continue. As that low gets closer, the moisture shield pushes northward, and I think most of tomorrow morning is dry, but we'll continue to see the threat of scattered showers and even a rumble of thunder through Wednesday afternoon. Good news is we're clearing out pretty quickly as we go into Thursday afternoon. There's those gusts this afternoon, gusting as high as 45 to 50 miles an hour. That's really when we expect the worst wind this afternoon through the early evening. And then as we go into Wednesday, as that area of low pressure begins to kind of weaken, we'll see those winds really begin to subside. On average, 1 to 2 inches of rain across Delmarva with some locally higher amounts of up to 3 possible. We clear out just in time for Friday, and we end the week on a pretty nice note. 70 degrees this afternoon with that isolated storm chance, very windy along the coast. 65 with scattered showers, isolated downpours through the overnight. 75, a lot of low clouds tomorrow, spotty showers and drizzle, and we'll see an early morning shower Thursday. Better by the afternoon with sunshine, wall-to-wall sunshine by Friday, 84, and right now the weekend looking pretty nice with temperatures in the mid-70s. Pat.
Yeah, thank you, Chris. Got an update to a story that we've been covering. Last night, the Lewis Parks and Recreation Commission voted against adding a fence around the newly renovated Canal Front Park. Petition started about a month ago asking for the installation of a fence, citing concerns about the risk of drowning and the proximity to the water.
It's a playground that is accessible for people with mobility issues, and putting a fence around that would close that off.
Parks and Recreation Commission denied the petition unanimously at their meeting Monday night.
And up next on Coast TV News today, coast parking costs will tell you which communities are going fee-free and where you still have to pay to park on Delmarva. Coast TV News today, we'll be right back. Some good news for beachgoers. The paid parking season is now over in some of our coastal communities. You won't have to pay parking if you're visiting Rehoboth Beach, Dewey Beach, Bethany Beach, or Fenwick Island. But not everyone has turned off their parking meters just yet. Lewis will continue charging at the beach until September 30th. In Ocean City, paid parking runs through Halloween. And one visitor told us in Rehoboth they are excited about the season being over.
It works out well for us because we just got in last night, so we'll pay to park today and then have free parking the rest of the week. So I don't mind it.
And another update on Ocean City specifically, they are moving away from metered parking. You'll need a parking app with the exception of the inlet parking lot, which the meters there remain open for 1 more year. And we have a rainy day today, but Chris has some better news for us later this week.
Yeah, we're looking forward to later in the week, but boy, if you were like that guy and you came in this week for some vacation time at the beach, today is not a great day for you.
No.
Yeah, no, unfortunately, we're going to see some dangerous rip currents today. We have high surf, 5 to 10 foot waves are going to be developing through the day today. You can see the cloudy skies here into Lewis. We have some drizzle, some showers across the area. 69 degrees there, dew point 64, wind sustained about 13 miles an hour out of the northeast. See the wave height there, 5 to 10 feet. So we're going to see showers early this morning and then a bit of a break, and then we'll see another round of showers later this afternoon, even an isolated rumble of thunder late this afternoon through the early evening hours. We're going to hold pretty steady, upper 60s to right around 70 through the day today, with on and off showers and even the isolated chance of a storm later on this afternoon through your dinner time. And you see Cambridge hovering right in the upper 60s, and then as well as Crisfield with a temperature of 67 degrees. Jason Cook, Millsboro, Delaware, you're the winner of our weather umbrella. Congratulations there. We'll track the rain and have a look at that 7-day forecast in the next half hour. Elisa.
Thank you, Chris. And after the break on Coast TV News today, conquering animal cruelty will tell you how adoption requirements are just one part of a new bill in Delaware that aims to do just that.
Also, push for premiums. Why Governor Matt Meyer claims thousands of Delawareans are impacted by health care subsidies within the Affordable Care Act.
Belmead hearing amid growth debate. Sussex County leaders set to discuss the proposed development today, as some locals say there's more affordable housing needed. Coast TV News today. We'll be right back.
Now on Coast TV News.
Lewis land clash. How development plans are the latest in the debate between growth and affordable housing.
Kirk case charges. It is expected today as the fallout in the assassination is leading to finger-pointing over political violence.
Let's go Tuesday morning. Delmarva tracking showers and heavy rain throughout the day today, as well as high winds. I'll let you know when you can expect the worst impacts coming up.
This is Coast TV News Today.
September 16th, 2025. Good morning, everybody. I'm Matt Pensa. Good morning, Elisa.
Good morning, Matt. Good morning. I'm Elisa Weber. Thank you for joining us.
And we're about to hit 6:30 on this Tuesday morning, and we have yellow alert weather day in store for us.
We do, yes. It's interfering with local summer. I was in Rehoboth Beach yesterday for a story, and there were a lot of people there enjoying the shops, walking on the boardwalk. So it's a good sight for the shops when it rains, but not if you're looking to go to the beach, that's for sure. But to talk more about our weather and maybe give us some good news for later this week, we're going to bring in Chris Mastrobono. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, Elisa and Matt. Pleasant good morning to you, Delmarva. Yeah, waking up with some damp conditions out there. You see the wet lens there in Laurel, low cloud, 65 degrees, dew point 63. So a rather damp start to the day. The showers we saw move in overnight haven't been all that heavy, more spotty drizzle in nature, but you can see a heavier batch of showers beginning to push in off the Atlantic, and that's really what we're going to be dealing with throughout the morning and the afternoon, as this area of low pressure really beginning to wind up now off the coast of the Outer Banks. You can see some heavier bands beginning to push into southern portions of Delmarva as well as coastal Virginia. Winds at this hour gusting 36 Indian River Inlet, 24 Bethany Beach to 32 in Ocean City. Temperatures right now 64 in Milford, 67 Georgetown to 70 in Bethany Beach. So keep the umbrella handy. We're going to be in and out of the showers and downpours throughout the afternoon, and we could see an even few isolated thunderstorms as we get into the afternoon time frame. Winds really begin to pick up late this morning through the afternoon at the coast, gusting as high as 50 miles an hour. Temperatures holding pretty steady today, but we're going to keep the cloud cover and shower threat really in play as this coastal low begins to weaken and push off to the northeast Wednesday into Thursday. But the good news is, as we get into Thursday afternoon, sunshine should return, and by Friday's looking even better, as well as the weekend. We'll talk more about that ahead in the full 7-day forecast here in just a little bit.
All right, thank you, Chris. And our top story this half hour is the latest in the attempt of getting a housing development in the Lewis area. It's turning the Belmead Horse Farm from agricultural residential to a C4 planned commercial district.
Debate on the Belmead development for apartments and retail has continued for months, with some delays after planning and zoning decided they wanted to hear from the Cape Henlopen School District, which is 2 schools less than half a mile away from the farm.
Sussex County Council has a public hearing on Belmead today at 1:30 p.m.
And part of that debate is the need near Sussex County for more affordable housing for healthcare workers. BB Healthcare says the county's rapid population growth is making it hard to keep up. CEO Dr. David Tam says due to the area's growth in just 5 years, they are projecting 3,000 more hospitalizations, per year for the 65 and over population. Dr. Tam says right now Sussex County has the worst ratio in Delaware on how many patients one clinician cares for. Tam says in just 10 years, the senior population will need 36% more trauma services and 30% more rehab services.
Delaware Governor Matt Meyer is expected to hold a press conference today pushing for Congress to protect health care subsidies set to expire next year. According to his office, Meyer and 17 other governors signed a letter urging congressional leaders to extend the Affordable Care Act's enhanced premium tax credits. Meyer says it keeps health coverage affordable for millions of Americans, and in Delaware alone, more than 16,000 people rely on these subsidies, with about 5,000 expected to lose coverage entirely if the credits expire.
Also happening today, Delaware is taking a new step to protect animals. Governor Matt Meyer will participate in a ceremonial signing of Senate Bill 174, creating an animal abuse offender list. The legislation was officially signed back in August of this year. According to the state Office of Animal Welfare must keep a public list of adults convicted of animal abuse. Shelters will be prohibited from allowing anyone on that list to adopt pets. The ceremony will take place at the BVSPCA Copeland Center for Animal Welfare in Newcastle at 1 o'clock.
Also today, Meyer is set to sign a bill creating a brand new specialty license plate to mark Delaware's 250th anniversary of Separation Day and also the nation's 250th birthday. The bill amends Title 21 of Delaware law to allow a commemorative background license plate. The plates will carry the same numbers and letters as the driver's current tag, but with a new design showcasing the milestone. The measure needed a supermajority in the General Assembly because it involves a new license fee.
We are now taking a live look at Washington, D.C. Here, the Federal Reserve's Federal Open Market Committee is meeting today and tomorrow. And usually the focus is on the second day of its gatherings. That's when it typically announces its decision about interest rates.
Yeah, but today just showing up for the meetings, that's newsworthy for some board members. Amy Kiley shows us how leadership changes could impact today's events.
I'm not confident of anything.
The Federal Reserve Board meets today at a pivotal time for the panel. It has a new face after last night's Senate confirmation of Stephen Miron. He's replacing a governor who resigned last month. He's also keeping his job at the White House, but going on unpaid leave.
The senators at least say the right thing about independence, and I think that counts for something.
Fed Governor Lisa Cook is still on the board today, despite President Donald Trump's attempt to fire her. That's after an appeals court ruled in her favor yesterday.
The key takeaway here is what exactly is cause and what kind of power does that ultimately give to the President of the United States when it comes to the Federal Reserve?
Trump is pushing the Fed to slash rates. Many investors expect it to announce a modest quarter-point cut tomorrow.
They're making a bet that the recent reacceleration in inflation is being driven by tariffs and that they can look through it. That's a big bet.
Meanwhile, many economists are sounding the alarm about stagflation. That's the combination of slow economic growth, a rise in unemployment, and inflation. Experts say it's a challenge for the Fed.
Tariffs cause the economy to shrink. That's the sort of thing you'd normally cut rates for. Tariffs cause inflation to rise. That's the sort of thing you'd normally raise rates for.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Happening now, Seaford conducting its annual hydrant flushing. According to the city's Facebook page, crews are working Mondays through Fridays from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. And this project takes place from the west side of the city and will move east over the next 4 to 6 weeks. People are advised to check their water quality before washing clothes and running the dishwasher.
A reminder for anyone heading to the Tidal Health Salisbury campus this week, you should expect some temporary changes at one of its parking lots. The healthcare company says now through Thursday, the sidewalk along South Division Street will be closed for repairs. Crews are working to create a safer walking path. The hospital says a row of gravel lot parking spots along South Division Street will also be blocked off because of potential debris from the project. It's all a part of the hospital's ongoing endoscopy expansion project.
This just in, 22-year-old Tyler Robinson expected to face several charges today, including aggravated murder. That's in connection with the assassination of conservative influencer Charlie Kirk. The FBI says the suspect is not cooperating, but points out they found the suspect's DNA on 2 pieces of evidence. Authorities are still working to confirm a motive. Another possible sign that maybe part of the evidence is a text message exchange.
He had a text message exchange, he the suspect, with another individual, in which he claimed that he had an opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk and he was going to do it because of his hatred for what Charlie stood for.
And in Utah today, classes are set to resume at that campus as the suspect remains on special watch status. That means he has closer supervision. And we have a lot more news to get to in this final half hour. Don't go anywhere.
Coming up, possible pool proposal. We'll tell you how organizers say the addition of an Olympic-sized pool would boost Delaware's economy.
Also, NL East champs. It was a wild one in LA as this morning the Phillies celebrate another division title.
An Assateague plant and animal log will tell you how you can be a part of the program to survey the creatures here on Delmarva. Stay with us on Coast TV News Today.
Well, it's a dreary start to our Tuesday morning here on the peninsula as we take a live look into Dover. Temperatures there 66 degrees, winds out of the northeast at about 13 miles an hour. So we're going to see a lot of wet roads throughout the morning and afternoon as we're going to be kind of in and out of the showers. And those winds really begin to pick up late this morning through the afternoon. You can see some heavier rain just off our coast, and that's going to be pushing ashore here over the next 15 to 20 minutes. But you can see the counterclockwise flow here of these showers pivoting in off the Atlantic. The heavier moisture is off to our south, where you see that flow there. That's that area of low pressure just off the Outer Banks, where there is some severe weather down there. Wind gusts 25. Rehoboth 35 Indian River Inlet, and these winds are only going to be getting stronger as we push through the day. So scattered showers, even a brief thunderstorm possible, especially as we get into the latter part of the afternoon through the early evening hours, with temperatures holding steady in the upper 60s to right around that 70-degree mark. We'll talk about when all this mess will be out of here coming up a little bit later on in that full 70 forecast. Matt.
All right, thanks, Chris. So the Assateague Island National Seashore wants you to participate in their week-long iNaturalist Bio Blitz. So what is that exactly? It is a program where you can enjoy the park's trails and beaches, marshes. You're encouraged to take pictures of any of the thousands of plants, animals, or other organisms in the park, and then you're asked to log your observations in the iNaturalist app, and this will help contribute to a large biodiversity database for the National Seashore. You don't need to sign up for anything, and this project begins September 21st. It goes through the 27th.
The Maryland Folk Festival is almost here, and that means several road closures across downtown Salisbury beginning today. According to the city's website, this is to make room for stages, vendors, and thousands of visitors. The city is closing streets in phases. Some of the closures include Circle Avenue, Main Street, and Market Street. All streets will reopen by Thursday, September 25th. The Maryland Folk Festival takes place from September 19th to the 21st.
Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
High school sports got off to a hot start this week, so let's go through some volleyball highlights from DSN+. St. Peter and Paul on the road to battle Worcester Prep in an ESEAC volleyball battle. This should be a good one, folks. And first set, the Sabres establish themselves. Kinsley Angler serves up an ace. Her team's up 11-4 in set one. And a few points later, Madeline Cronin gets in on the fun. What a spike. St. Peter and Paul lead 16-6. Worcester Prep puts up a fight. Madison Andrews tallies an ace of her own, but St. Peter and Paul hold on to win set one. Next set, the Sabres keep rolling. Cronin sets, Angler kills it. St. Peter and Paul up 5-3. And now Cronin passes to Natalie Lyons, and she takes care of business. Sabres lead 12-7 in set two. The Mallards stay in the fight. Another ace pulls Worcester within 3 points. So not over yet, but Madeline Cronin to Kinsley Angler. What a connection they have. The Sabres take set two and lead the Mallards 2-0. But long story short, Madeline Cronin dominated and led St. Peter and Paul to a sweep of Worcester Prep. That'll do it for sports. Have a great Tuesday, Delmarva.
Coming up tonight on DSN at 6:30, it's live. Head Open Conference Boys Soccer. Cape takes on Sussex Central, and then catch the final score at 10:30. Along with that soccer match, you get these on the DSN Plus app at 4 p.m. It's Kent County Field Hockey and a matchup as Dover takes on Smyrna. At 4 p.m., Parkside goes up against Queen Anne's County in girls soccer. 5 p.m., Parkside is at Decatur for a girls volleyball battle, and Appoquinimink takes on Sussex Academy in boys soccer. Well, just a few hours ago in Los Angeles, Phillies-Dodgers 8th inning, and Bryce Harper breaks a 4-4 tie with a solo shot, and the Phillies have a 5-4 lead with 6 outs to go. 1 out bottom of the 9th, and Andy Paz plays spoiler with that no doubt about it bomb, and we're tied at 5 going extra innings. In the 10th, runners second, third, JT Realmuto drives it steep enough here. Sac fly scores Harrison Bader, and the Phillies regain the lead at 6-5, and it sets up this. Bases loaded, 2 outs, bottom 10th, Max Muncy the grounder, and the Phillies make it back-to-back division titles. Philadelphia, you are the 2025 NL East champs after a 6-5 win.
And fall isn't just for football, it's for marching band too. The Delmarva Sports Network will cover 6 marching band competitions featuring over a dozen schools from across the peninsula. These competitions will stream exclusively on DSN+. The first one is scheduled for Saturday, September 20th. If you're having a rough week, well, you can cheer up with a weekly dose of local good news from CoastTV with personal features. Fun things to do each weekend and more. You can sign up right now for free at coasttv.com and get your weekly dose of joy directly to your inbox on Friday. And here's what you can look forward to this afternoon on Coast Life at 4 p.m.
We hope you're enjoying your day so far, but if you tune into Coast Life at 4 o'clock, here's what's coming your way. We're taking a trip to BB Healthcare's Cardiovascular Institute. Also, if you're a fan of beer, wine, and spirits, well, we've got the festival for you. Also, our dish of the week this week. Don't forget, when you order the dish of the week from Benvenuto and tell them that you saw it on Coast Life, you will get a percentage off that dish of the week. So all that mouth-watering goodness and more is happening today at 4 on Coast Life. We'll see you then.
Well, waking up to some showers and downpours across the area, and we're going to see a few on and off downpours throughout the afternoon, even a rumble of thunder, but the wind really going to begin to pick up late this morning through the afternoon as we hold steady in the upper 60s. We'll talk about when the rain and wind clears out right after the break.
The time is now 6:48, and we are taking a live look outside at Laurel this morning, which is usually a beautiful camera. And this morning, Chris, it is a gloomy Tuesday. As we can see raindrops on that camera. I think that camera just tells your forecast, Chris. You can go home. It's raining.
I know, right?
Yeah,
that's a good description of how it's going to be today. A lot of shower activity we're going to be dealing with. We're dealing with light to moderate rainfall throughout the area, drizzle, but you could see this heavier batch of rain pushing in off the Atlantic, about to push ashore here over the next few minutes, and some heavier pockets there can be expected through southern Delaware. You can see some lighter rain through the eastern shore, but heavier bands further offshore as this area of low pressure really begins to crank off the coast of the Outer Banks, and that area is going to continue to lift to the northwest throughout the day today. Temperatures right now 71, Lewis 70, Bethany Beach 68, Long Neck to 65 in Laurel. Sustained winds right now. Not really much of a factor west of Coastal Highway, but you could see at the coast we're sustained 17 to 30, but gusts 35, Indian River Inlet 32, Ocean City, and 23 in Rehoboth. Now we have coastal flood advisories up. Could see up to 1.5 feet of inundation through high tide cycle later on today, and that's up through 9 o'clock for the Delaware coast. Tuesday to about 10 o'clock tonight for Worcester County. We have gale warnings up for the entire Delmarva coast for that wind threat up to 45 miles an hour. Wind advisory for Accomack County. Now, the Storm Prediction Center has a general thunderstorm risk for the entire area, but see Accomack County there just to the south of Chickateague, marginal risk. Could see a brief spin up, maybe an isolated severe storm there, but we're going to continue to see the threat of rain at least through Wednesday and maybe even lingering into early Thursday morning, then skies clear. Wind and rain today, scattered rain, 69 for a high in Lewis, 71 in Cambridge. So highs are going to be generally in the upper 60s to right around that 70-degree mark. Futurecast shows the rain pivoting in throughout the morning, could be heavy at times. We get a bit of a lull in the action there through around lunchtime, and then we see another wave of showers, and again, a brief thunderstorm is possible late this afternoon through the early evening hours. And then as we get into Wednesday, early Wednesday, we see that system push closer to the coast, and then that shield of moisture pushes northward. So the precip tomorrow is going to be be a bit more spotty in nature and some lingering drizzle, a lot of low clouds. But the good news is we start Thursday with some clouds, but end with sunshine. There's those wind gusts, 45, 50 miles an hour late this morning through the early afternoon. And then as we go into Wednesday, we'll begin to see those winds relax as this area of low pressure weakens and pushes off to the northeast. On average, a good 1 to 2 inches of rain for a good bit of Delmarva, with some locally higher amounts up to 3 inches. As that area of low pressure weakens, pushes to the northeast, skies clear, and we end the week on a pretty good note. 70 this afternoon with periods of rain, isolated thunderstorms, and very windy along the coast. 65 overnight with scattered showers and an isolated downpour. Wednesday, a lot of low clouds, spotty showers and drizzle, 75 degrees. And then aside from a few morning showers and sprinkles Thursday, we clear out on Friday, looking very nice and even looking pretty nice for the weekend with temperatures right around the mid-70s. Matt.
All right, thanks, Chris. Nonprofits looking to make a big splash in Kent County, Delaware. The First State Aquatic Center has pitched a $20 to $44 million facility before Dover City officials. Calls for a 50-meter Olympic-sized swimming pool, several recreational pools, and seating for 1,500 spectators. 3 locations are under consideration: the former Macy's at the Dover Mall, a site near the Dover Air Force Base, and land by DE Turf. Supporters say the center could also host multi-day tournaments, which will boost Kent County's tourism and economy.
We think this is a great place for it. We think there's a great need because aquatic programming can meet the needs of a community in so many ways.
And the First State Aquatic Center tells us the next step is raising $50,000 to pay for a feasibility study.
The time is now 6:53, and we are going to check in with our coastal pet of the day.
And today's coastal pet of the day is a very active dog. Check out Conus on your screen. Conus was recently discovered a new love of swimming, and his favorite place, it's the Indian River Bay. This active pup was submitted to us by Lori and Longneck.
And we want to see more of your pets on Delmarva. Send us photos and tell us what makes them so special. You can take a look at your screen.
And you can scan that QR code at the top of your screen to get your friends to Coast TV News, and then watch weekdays from 5 to 7 a.m. to see all the pets we feature.
Well, it might feel a little too early to be thinking about Christmas, but it's not. That's because kids can start sending letters to Santa now.
Yeah, get this. Under Operation Santa, the Postal Service links letter writers with generous people and groups who help grant their holiday wishes.
And some important tips: the envelope needs to include the writer's full name and return address and Santa's address.
And that is Santa, 123 Elf Road, North Pole, 88888.
And the letters need to be sent to the postmaker by December 6th. And we're going to talk about our forecast that is not Christmas-like just yet, even though Chris, our meteorologist, loves a good snowstorm.
Yeah, it's funny how these meteorologists are like that, but
yeah.
Chris, the big story on
the
your
drama.
end is
Oh, I know who my snow lovers are. Well, yes, we have that yellow alert in play for today. You could see some heavier rain beginning to push ashore here off the Atlantic. We'll continue to be in and out of the showers and even a rumble of thunder late this afternoon. Winds really pick up at the coast, gusting as high as 50 miles an hour. We'll keep the shower threat in play Wednesday. Early Thursday, we get this coastal low out of here just in time for Friday and the weekend as we soak up what remains left of summer. 75 degrees for the weekend.
All right, thank you, Chris, and thank you for joining us here for Coast TV News today.
And the Today Show is coming up next at 7 a.m.
Then we'll be back for Coast TV News midday at 11.
And for even more news and coverage you can count on, download our Coast TV News and weather apps. Have a great Tuesday morning, everybody.